What's up, guys? I am beyond thrilled and honored to be sitting down today with the all-time leader in caps for the U.S. men's national team, U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer, all-around amazing human being, Cobi Jones. Cobi, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Here, actually close to-ish, your hometown. We're going to start by reminding everyone, grew up here, played high school at Thousand Oaks, have really been an integral part of bringing soccer to your hometown of Ventura County. When you think about the fact that you now have a professional team in really your backyard, how does that sound?
Well, fantastic, number one. I have to correct a little thing. I went to high school in Westlake. Because Westlake and Thousand Oaks are rivals. So, you know, we'll kill each other. So
my gosh. Okay.
But you know, it's all so close. You know, Westlake, Thousand Oaks, Newberry Park. You know, that Conejo Valley area, that all in Ventura. You know, is so much a part of my youth, you know, my youth landscape and growing up. So to bring a professional team to my hometown, you know, that area where everyone can participate, to actually give kids the opportunity to play the sport. Because one thing I always find is it's difficult to play this game, you know, at a youth age. And you hear it from the kids, you hear it from the parents, you have to drive so far, but now to actually bring an opportunity for the kids to see professional soccer right there, it's close by, you know, I couldn't ask for anything else.
As you think back to those days of playing youth soccer and growing up here, how would you describe that experience?
It was wonderful. You know, I gotta admit it, I had a great time. I loved this sport, you know, that's what kept me going. Now, look, I wasn't always, you know, a lot of people would think from the history, oh, you must have been the best player on your team and all that stuff. No, that wasn't me. I just played hard. I loved playing the game. That's what drew me back all the time. That's what kept me going, you know, with all the obstacles and various things that were in the way. Why? Because I loved the game, you know, so much. And to play it in Ventura County, that Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks, that whole area, I look back now and just go like, wow, those were some really surreal moments in time. It's not the same anymore. You know, one of the big things I gotta say, and I'll try to keep this short, is just how it all started, in the fact that, you know, I was driving by a park and saw my cousin, and my parents just pulled over and asked the coach, can he play? And the coach said, yes, toss the jersey, and then I'm out there kicking the ball around, and that's how it started. That to me is it's so different than how it is now. Yeah. You know, so yeah. That just is a testament to just the beauty and just the rawness and the originality of the game. And if we can get anywhere like that in the future, you know, oh, I'd be happy.
How old were you when that happened?
5 years old, okay. Starting in AYSO.
And now, fast forward just a couple years.
Yeah, just a couple here and there. Yeah.
What was your role in bringing this professional club to Ventura County?
That's always interesting when people ask that. There was a variety of different things that I've done. You can't pin it to really any one thing. I would say, you know, obviously, Westlake, Thousand Oaks being my hometown, me being a part of it was significant for, I guess, however you want to put it, completing the situation of bringing VCFC there, because, you know, you want to have kind of like, for MLS, it's about having that legacy type of situation. You know, so for me, it was about, yes, being a part of it, helping to be like a quote unquote like face of it, but also to be active within it. You know, I don't want to be just like, okay, yeah, you can use my name and go ahead. No, yeah. I want to be there because I want to make sure that it's the right way. If I'm going to be a part of it, I want to make sure that we are affecting the right people, giving the opportunities to the right people. It's like going home, right? Mm-hmm. If you go home, you don't want to just like leave it behind and just go, oh yeah, you take care of it. Yeah. No, if this is like my home, I want to be a big part of it. So I'm involved in a lot of various things within the club.
And that is something I know they are very grateful for. When you think about your aspirations for where you want it to go, what do those look like?
You can only dream, right?
Yeah.
What's the biggest dream, you know? Yeah. I mean, look, we would all hope, you know, for the future that in the Ventura County area that there's, you know, what are you gonna say? Okay, an MLS team, you know, that would be wonderful. So I'm a big believer that you put the dream out there and you work towards that, and if you can continue towards that for, I don't know, 2, 5, 10, 15 years, hey, you're working towards something and that's what's important. If we reach there, you know, fantastic. That's the ultimate goal.
When you watch the games as they are now, you kind of mentioned the growth of the sport, but watching them, being an involved part of one of these clubs in MLS Next Pro, what does that say about the growth of the sport in this country?
I think this is a very significant part of the growth of soccer in the United States. We have seen it grow exponentially over the years. I've seen it grow exponentially from the 90s into the early 2000s, and there's always these seminal moments, you know, be it the '94 World Cup, you know, the '99ers for the women, all these various points. But then you also have to have a base that continues that growth. And I think MLS Next Pro is one of those stepping stones that's going to allow a base where no matter what happens at the highest level, success, failure, hopefully not failure, but you continue to grow no matter what. And if we are helping young players to have that opportunity to play day in, day out at a high competitive level, that's only going to help the game within the United States.
And at this level, I know coming up for you guys, hosting inter-region rival, LAFC 2, expected to be a huge packed, sold-out crowd at your place. How cool is it to see the development of that rivalry at this level?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, you couldn't ask for much more, right? You want to see rivalry. You know, that's what it's about. You want to see that intensity. You want to see the opposing fans going crazy for their team, and then your fans screaming and yelling. That's when you kind of get that feeling of like, okay, we're here. You know, we've done it. We've created something where, you know, the fans are going to have the worthwhile soccer experience. The fans are going to have the worthwhile stadium experience, and then the fans are going to have the worthwhile fan experience. And if you get all of that, then you've had success.
All right, I do want to take a little bit of time to talk about your career because it has been one of the pillars in growing the game here in this country. We mentioned all the success with the U.S. men's national team. Of course, we also have to mention domestically all the success with LA Galaxy. When you look back on your career, what stands out to you now?
Championships.
Looking like a true player.
No, look, that's what you're playing this for, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm old school. I play to win. You know, I'm not out there just to have fun. And if you talk to some of my old teammates, you know, one of the things they will say that, yeah, I like to have a good time, but I would guarantee they'd say I was very competitive. You know, not just on the field, but it could be anything from, you know, the water bottle in the locker room, tossing it up to see who's going to get it first. You know, those are things that we did, and you want to win, you want to be competitive. But outside of that, the natural, which I hope for every, you know, competitive athlete, the natural is to win championships. I look back and other moments that stand out. It's really not so much, you know, the games themselves. It's the locker room. Those are the moments. It's being with the guys, you know, on the road. Those are things that have become more prominent, you know, in my life as I've gotten older, because I realized, you know, you don't get that in anything, you know, anymore. You don't get the locker room experience like that, no matter what you're doing. So it's almost like you're trying to find a way to find that again some way, somehow, but you can't. So yeah, that's one of the things that really started standing out as well, is those locker room moments and good times with the guys. You know, that's why we try to get together and bond. You know, again, reunions everywhere. You know?
Well, now that those locker room moments are over, the playing days are over. The sport has grown so much even since you stopped playing. What excites you most about where it can go from here?
What excites me most, I think, in seeing what I know that this league and this sport in the United States will be like in 10, 15, 20 years, even beyond when I'm gone, the next step of excitement for me is going to be really to see a consistent and continual process of player movement, you know, within the United States. And we look at, you know, within MLS right now, you're starting to see it. I think it really started out, you see teams like, you know, Dallas and Philly were moving those young players, and they were moving out, you know, overseas pretty quickly. I think now we're starting to see it like the Galaxy, you know, is starting to move some young players. You know, you had Julian Araujo going to Barcelona. You know, you're seeing starting the movement even within MLS now. And I think a significant part of it with MLS Next Pro is that development at a younger age is helping it. So when they do get to the first team, it's like, okay, maybe a year or two, boom, they're gone and they're moving. If it's not even going to the first team, just sometimes moving straight from MLS Next Pro and moving on.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we're going to see, and I'm excited about those opportunities, you know, there within the game.
That answer might be the same answer to my next question, but from your lens, what do you think it'll take for the U.S. to be a perennial player in the world of soccer going forward in a way that it hasn't been yet?
Look, to be a perennial where you're there year in and year out, that takes an awful lot, and that takes a lot of time. And we are still young within the game, and we're playing catch up. I still think we have a lot of growing to do. Yeah. You know, and I think and I think it's from the players. I think it's from the organization. You know, all these different things that have to come together correctly to really get it going in the right way. Look, I think we need, you know, I think the players have developed so much more than from my era. Yeah. You know, I think that has been shown without a doubt. I think is also like my era. I think my era had more grit and fight. Now, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who say, what are you talking about, and stuff like that. But listen, this is what I say, is like, we didn't have the skill set, you know, that those players are. So all we could depend upon was that. You know, it wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to get my way out. It's just, no, I got to fight through this, you know, that type of thing. I think if we can combine all of that together, then that's going to be a big step. And then you get all the coaching, and then you get a lot of the former players involved at this level and the next level, and help develop it from a soccer experience side, as well as just not the soccer knowledge, but the soccer experience. Experience is huge. You have that along with the soccer knowledge, along with all the money and finance, because you need that as well to get behind it, and you bring that all together, then you're really starting to head in the right direction. And any component of that is out, I think we will continue to find it. Yeah, we're close, but not quite there.
Yeah, that along with the involvement of the former greats, like this guy. Cobi, as we wrap up, just want to ask, are there any special projects in the world of Cobi Jones going on that you want to share or talk about?
Well, I think, other than BC,
the one right there.
Other than this one right now, this is a pretty big project going on right now. You know, maybe we'll have to meet again, because I know there are some things that are in the works that I would like to let everybody know about. So hopefully you'll invite me back, you know, at some point.
A perfect tease to leave you wanting more. I appreciate the time, Cobi.
Thanks for having me.
That does it for this episode, a very special episode with a very special guest for MLS Next Pro.